Hello everyone, this is FooBricks. Welcome back to my BrickStock How-To series. This is part 3, how to part out sets using BrickStock. Today we're just going to use a set as an example. You can see here Lego Shop at Home has the Encounter on Jakku set. Let's say you have 5 copies of this that you want to part out for your store or for your personal collection. This instructional video will apply to either. So what you want to do first is launch BrickStock, and once that's up you want to create a new file, which you can do a couple ways. You can click on a piece of paper right here, create a new file, and go File, New. Now, my one complaint about BrickStock is a little clunky when it comes out to parting out sets, because first you have to add the set and then part it out. So we will add the set first. So you want to click the little plus sign over the brick here. You're going to change item type to set, and you want to put in a set number, which in this case is 75148. So we will enter in the filter 75148. Now you can click all items and it will run quite slowly, as it's going to search every Lego set ever made. Since we know this is the Star Wars theme, we're actually going to pick Star Wars. So you're going to scroll down, it's in ABC order, until you see Star Wars. Here you go, Star Wars. And there it is. It came right up very quickly. If I'd clicked on all items, it would have taken up to a minute searching, depending on how fast your computer is. So you highlight it in blue, and it'll show you a little picture of the set down here in the corner. And one thing you can pay attention to is the condition. Is it a new or used set? Because you can also part out used sets if you want. It's up to you, depending on what you've got. So now you hit Add. And we're all done here because we're only parting out this one set today, so we're going to hit Close. Next, you'll see it in the list, and now we actually have to part it out. So, you highlight it in blue, and you can do it one of two ways. You can click on this button here with the 2 triangles, Part Out Item, or what I normally do is I just right-click, Part Out Item. Either way, you're given this prompt, and the most important thing to do is make sure you have the quantity right here. In our example, we're going to part out 5 copies, so we're going to change this to 5. You also want to double check the set number, make sure it is correct. In this case it is, because you don't want to accidentally upload the wrong set to your store, or even for a personal collection you don't want to part out the wrong one and you're running around looking for parts that don't exist. Now that we're all good here, we're going to say OK. It's going to create another new file with all the parts listed in the set. And you can see here that it has a total of 241 lots and 2,800 pieces. As you get to the bottom, you're going to see the check marks over here change to plus signs. These means there are extra parts in the set per the BrickLink inventory. So people who BrickLink inventoried this set have determined that there are extra pieces, which is good to know as a builder as well as when you're parting out, because the extra pieces may or may not always be there. There's a little bit of variance depending on which Lego factory it came from. So now, we have all the parts listed here, and I'm going to continue in the video assuming this is for a seller, someone who wants to sell these. So you have to do a couple things. First thing you want to look at is anything that says CP over here in this column. That means it's a counterpart. And in this case, it's for this gun mini blaster that's an assembly. There's actually 2 pieces here. You have the gun and the little trigger. So in this case, you can upload it as the gun as the 2 pieces. You sell it as an assembly, or you can upload the separate parts. Now to make this easier, I'm going to sort by color. There we go. So the gun shows up as black as the assembly. I'll expand this column so you can see. If we scroll up, you'll see the gun by itself here. So you have to decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to sell it as assembly or sell it as the separate pieces? In this case, I'm going to say we'll sell it as the assembly. So what we first have to do is determine the parts of that assembly. The easiest way to do that is to part out this counterpart just to look. You're not actually going to upload it, you're just going to part it out. So if you do part out again, and we only need to do one because we're just curious what parts are considered part of this assembly, you say OK. there you are. You have the gun itself, which this should have come as black. I don't know why it didn't, so I'll fix it. And the trigger, which is dark bluish gray. So now that means we need to go back to our inventory for the set and delete those two parts. So what we're going to do is, we already found the blaster earlier, that was near the top here, there it is. You're going to delete it, which you can right click and hit delete, or hit delete on your keyboard. And now, since I've sorted by color, I'm going to go down to dark bluish gray. I'm going to find the trigger. Here it is, 5 triggers. Delete. Now, once you've determined all your counterparts and regular parts, some sets have more than one, for example, bicycles, wheelbarrows, dollies. There's all sorts of things that can be sold as an assembly or as separate pieces. It's totally up to you. Do your research and figure out what will work best for your store. This set only had one as an example. Now we're going to scroll back through and look at the plus sign. As you can see, there are 5 extra triggers in here. You want to leave these because these should be in the set, and you will verify that when you actually part it out physically by hand. And you want to delete the other 5 because they're part of the assembly. So you'll have 5 assembled blasters and 5 extra triggers. Lego's known for putting in extra small parts because they tend to be the ones that get easily lost, especially by kids. As you scroll through, you'll see more plus signs, mostly all small parts, 1x1 plates, 1x1 tiles. There's some extra chains in here. Stuff that tends to get easily lost. Now that we've gone through and checked for all of our counterparts and deleted any stuff we shouldn't have, you're going to look for these two, the ones that have a number by them. This means there could be 2 different versions of the part in your set. And it's really up to you. For my own store, I don't differentiate between molds. They're more or less the same as far as I'm concerned. So I just go with the one that has the most common. And the way I determine that, which is a handy feature of BrickStock, is you can pull up each one in the price guide. So you show BrickLink price guide info on this first one here, part number 61252. It will launch your browser, take you directly to that part in the correct color. And what I look at is the total quantities. Current items for sale, new, there's 13,000, and about that many has sold in the last 6 months. Now we're going to look at the other one. Again, we're going to show price guide info on part 6019 and 10. And here you go. There's only 2,000 new available and 817 sold in the last 6 months. So it's the least common mold, the thicker U-clip. And looking at the other one, which we still had up in a tab, that's the open O-clip. Chances are what you got in this particular case for the O-clip is it's more common. So that's the one that I would leave in there. If you're picky about molds, then you have to go through each one individually and make sure. And if you don't have a reference, it's kind of hard to tell. So I would go in the most common, and I put in my store terms that I do not differentiate between molds. Again, that's up to you. Feel free to comment below on how you feel about that. I know some people care and want specific molds, and some people are like, well, if it holds the part I need to hold, I'm happy with it. I'll be curious to see what you guys think. So we're done here with the price guide, and we decided we're going to go with the 61252, the more common model. So I'm going to delete the 6019, because again, you'll get double uploaded on this part, which is not good. You don't want to upload more than you actually have available. And these will show up as 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. If there's more of them that have different molds, it will show you that here in BrickStock. And that's all the cleanup done. Now, what I like to do as a next step is I want to select all, and we can consolidate these. So it's going to combine the extra 1x1 plates with the regular 1x1 plates. And that'll get it down to exactly how many lots you should have, and it will also combine the totals automatically. So once you've selected all, you can do it here with this button, Consolidate Items, or right-click, Consolidate. And you want to do the same for remaining lots, so it's going to happen more than once, otherwise you have to hit yes 100 times. So you check this box, and I pick New Lot. You say yes. There we go. Took care of it, and now we're down to 211 lots, which is good. That means you're going to have 211 unique pieces in this set. And if you scroll through, you'll see that all of them, all your duplicates, are now merged. So we were looking at a tan 1x1 plate before. And here it is. The total quantity, 60. It went up from 50, which it was before. And that's it. You now have it parted out. You can physically part it out by hand, verify all these quantities are correct, and you'll be ready to upload. All that's left to do after you're done with the physical part out is pricing everything. And we're just going to assume, for sake of argument, that you want to price everything at the 6-month average. So again, we're going to select all, and you use the $ equals, which is set to price guide. We do last 6 months average, download even if already in cache. You say OK, and BrickStock will go through, and there you go. Everything including the minifigs is priced out, and you now see the value is filled in at $370.41 for 5 copies of this set. The other thing you want to check is errors. It says it has one, so let's find it. You have to scroll through until you see the error, which will be highlighted in red. Here we go. So this particular part has not sold, so therefore there's no 6-month average price. In this case, what you can do is you can set your own price by looking at the price guide, or you can go with the current average, so what they're currently for sale for. What I like to do in this case is I look at, again, the price guide by right-click Show BrickLink Price Guide Info and see what it says. Items are not found. This is an error. So that means there could be an error in the inventory itself. It seems very strange. This doesn't happen very often. So I'm going to try setting this to current and see what happens. And it's still giving me an error. So there's something up here. And it's describing it as medium dark flesh and reddish brown cloth pattern, but it came in as trans clear, which doesn't sound right to me. It sounds like it should be medium dark flesh based on its description. And trans clear is probably an error on BrickLink's side because all this inventory information comes from BrickLink. So in this case, I'm going to try to change it color-wise to medium dark flesh, which you can quickly do as I'm doing here. Just want to scroll up. And say OK. And one hint in BrickStock, if there's an error like this and it has a problem, it won't ever load a picture because it pulls this picture from BrickLink live. And if you don't see a picture, that means, well, there isn't one, or in this case we saw it was in the catalog and it's not there. So what I would do in this particular case, which is a good case to show you because this is rare that it happens, there's something wrong with this part. It's not showing up in the catalog properly. So what I like to do is cut it, take it out of this inventory, make a new one, paste it. We'll deal with this later. And we're done with the inventory for the old weapons, so we don't need that. Now, everything here has no errors because you don't see errors down here. And you'll be ready to upload all these parts to your store once you have them inventoried and put away and organized. Which works very easily. We'll ignore the problem we had to part with for just a moment just so I can show you how to upload. So now let's assume you've gone through your inventory, you said, yep, this is all good, I don't have any problems, I've adjusted my prices, I've adjusted quantities if any parts are missing, and now I'm ready to add it to my inventory at my store. So all you have to do is select all again, and you're going to File, Export, and this is Mass Upload. You want to make sure you do Mass Upload because these are new parts actually going to your store, not Mass Update, which is only changes to parts you already have in your store. That's the difference between the two. Now we're just going to do a Mass Upload, and we're ready to put this in the store. So you click it, it'll launch your browser. If you told your browser to save your login information, it'll automatically fill for you. You click Login, and bring you to the Mass Inventory Upload screen. All you have to do is click here and paste it, which is Apple V on a Mac, Control V on a PC, or you can right click on either system and hit paste. And it fills it in for you. The next step is to hit Verify File. And here you go. So this is going to give you a chance to review everything that's being uploaded. In this case, I already have some Ray minifigs in my store, so it's telling you this will be consolidated into lot. And in Remarks is where I personally keep the storage location of every item I already have in my store. So I know I just need to add these 5 Ray figs to the 6 I've already have for a total of 11. And you just want to scroll through and make sure there's no errors. Again, there's consolidated lots because some of these parts are already in my own store. So you'll see this happen pretty often as you keep uploading more parts. There's lots of common parts like bricks, plates, tiles that you'll get out of more than one set. And there's a lot of parts here, so I'm going to scroll faster and not bore you guys to death. You're just looking for any text in red that's telling you there's an error. I don't see any, and you generally don't. Unless there's an odd issue, you generally don't see any red. So there we are. We get down to the bottom, the last lot, number 210. You got 2,770 items and 210 unique lots, totaling $370.41 ready to upload inventory. From here, you can hit Upload File, and it will immediately place all these items into your inventory. I'm not actually going to do this. I'm not actually adding this set to my store today. I'm just doing it for the sake of demonstration. It'll take you to another screen to set up successful and allow you to send out Notify, which is something you definitely want to click on. And that will notify anyone who has any of these parts on their want list that you now have it available. They immediately get an email as soon as you click that button. And that's a very good thing to do if you're trying to move inventory from your store. And that's it. That's how you part out a store into your BrickLink inventory from BrickStock. Now, as a bonus, I'm going to address this odd issue we had with the part earlier. So let me get out of the screen for you. We're going to go back to our new file where I have this part. Plastic awning. I haven't actually parted out this set, so I'm not familiar with the part, so we're going to learn together what the problem is here. So I've changed it to medium dark flesh as an attempt to try to get it. Now I'm going to try reddish brown to see if this makes any difference. So I'm going to go to R for reddish brown, say OK. Still no picture has shown up. So I'm going to check the price guide again. It still says it's not found, which is strange because this information came from BrickLink. So now we're going to have to do this the hard way. We're going to have to go to Set Inventories. We're going to put in the set number, which is here, 75148. I'm going to view it. And here's what BrickLink says is in the box. So now, we're going to look for this part, which said, according to BrickLink, was trans clear. So I'm going to scroll down to T, because it's already sorted by color. Tan. Ah. Here it is. I can see one major difference here already. I'm going to click on the picture so you guys can see what it is. Looks like it's a sticker of some sort. Let's see, it has this part number 6148199, which should match what we see in BrickStock, which it does. But I immediately see that the part number is here, 26337. This is what it should be, but we can edit this in BrickStock. Oops, I've already forgotten what it was. 26337. So if I do this, it's giving me an error. I wonder if it's because I need to update my database, which I covered in the last lesson. So I'm going to change it. It wants me to save this because it wants to close all my open tabs in BrickStock to do the update. So I'm going to say this is missing part. No, I don't need to save the part out, and no, I don't need to save that. Already up to date. Okay, so let's open it back up. So now I'm going to try to part this out again. One copy. Sort by color. And you guys don't have to do this step. I accidentally saved the wrong file. So I need to pull this part again. Plastic awning. Here it is. See, it's still showing the wrong part number and my BrickStock database was up to date. So what you have to do in this case, when the wrong number comes down, you have to manually add the part. So what I'm actually going to do is delete this part. And we're going to add, just like we would have set. In this case, we're going to leave it as a part. We're going to go back to the guide, which is 26377. And it's parts plastic. So I'm going to type in typo 26337. Make sure, doubly sure I got that right. I do. Now, I'm just going down to P, plastic, and it's still not finding it. So this is going to happen rarely. It's not often this happens. BrickStock is not able to see the part from BrickLink. That generally means one of two things. There's either an error in the inventory of the set on BrickLink, or there's an error in BrickStock. And this is the type of thing you need to watch out for, is you don't want to upload the wrong part, which is why you verify as you part out the set that everything you see in BrickStock is correct. And also to be occasionally a part that you can't add because BrickStock doesn't see it correctly. So in this case, just to double check, I've checked plastic, now I'm going to check all items. And you can see I get this little wheel that's telling me it's looking. Still didn't find it. 26337. So the only thing left to do is to manually add it to your inventory within BrickLink. So you're going to hit Add My Inventory. And this is the BrickLink website way of adding stuff to your store. You just fill all this in. It is trans clear. So we're leaving that number as is. In this case we had 5. The price, you can look at the whole price guide. So in the past 6 months, new, 160 have sold for an average of $1.02. So if you wanted to go with the average, you could do 1.2. Condition is new because we're parting out new sets. You would put used if you're parting out a used set. And you would review the item. Here you go. This is a similar screen you saw when you uploaded from BrickStock. And everything looks correct here. You just click Add to Inventory, and it would add it to your inventory. So this ran a little longer than I was expecting because I wasn't expecting to have a problem part in the set. So you guys are lucky you got an extra lesson today. But that's essentially it. You're just going to part out your sets in BrickStock. Take care of your counterpart items, take care of your mold variants, and then consolidate as the last step. You want to make sure all those extra parts get combined with the regular parts so you know what total you're looking for. And that's all for today. If you guys have any questions, comments, ideas for another lesson, please drop it in the comments below. Links to all my stores on eBay, BrickOwl, and BrickLink are in the description below. And I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I welcome any feedback. Thanks so much, and